He was cutting down the lives of real people. People who didn't have billions of dollars to cushion them. People who struggle to pay their rent, pay their medical bills. It was so cruel and so callous what he did on a human level. Now I want to talk about someone near and dear to your heart, Sam. Elon Musk. Yes. Elon Musk has not been good to you, has he?
No.
Has not been good to hundreds of thousands of Americans, has he?
He has not.
This is something that we really need to emphasize, how cruel what he did was. This guy waving his chainsaw, as though he was, cutting some firewood. He was cutting down the lives of real people. People who didn't have billions of dollars to cushion them. People who struggle to pay their rent, pay their medical bills, take care of their kids, put food on their table. It was so cruel and so callous what he did on a human level. But remember, he says, we got to get rid of empathy. That's one of the big problems is, empathy for others.
What? He said that?
Yes. Empathy. He was the war on empathy.
That's crazy.
This is a guy who's, I don't know how many hundreds of billions of dollars he's worth, but he's worth more than most countries of the world. How much?
421 billion, I believe.
Worth, I don't know, that may have gone down a little. But doesn't matter. He's worth way more than most of the countries of the world. And this businessman, naturalized citizen, an immigrant with some dubious allegations about, the legality of his immigration, but I'm not going to get into that. He was going to come in and he said, save $2 trillion. Did he leave still holding to that goal of $2 trillion in savings?
No,
he's leaving. Then he pared it down to $1 trillion.
Okay.
Did he leave with that goal of $1 trillion?
No.
In fact, it's now pared down to $150 billion. Down from $2 trillion, down 85% or something like that. That may sound like a lot of money, Sam, right?
Sure.
You would like to have $150 billion, wouldn't you?
I'll take it.
But where does that stand in relation to the whole federal budget?
2%.
Yeah, a couple of percent approximately. Federal budget is close to $7 trillion. But is that real savings?
No.
We've talked about this before. Firing people does not necessarily save money. People take unemployment compensation. They're not paying taxes. They're not spending in their communities. All of that gets subtracted away from the supposed savings. Plus, if government becomes more costly to run, say, for example, people having to go to the office, right? Is that more costly than people staying home?
Yes.
Of course it is. Plus, among the things they're slashing is the IRS. And for every employee you slash on the IRS, you lose far more than you save for firing that employee. So, as, pared down as $150 billion may be, it's not real. For all we know, the savings may be close to zero, or they could even be negative, depending on how much revenue is lost and how much the cost of government goes up. And this doesn't consider anything about the bill we talked about, the budget and tax bill, which adds who knows, anywhere from $3 to $4 to $5 trillion to the deficit, maybe more. We don't know what the final bill is going to be because it's hitting a lot of resistance even among Republicans in the United States Senate. Now, remember what Trump said? What was Elon Musk? And Elon Musk said this. What was he going to uncover in our government?
An immense fraud.
Immense amount of fraud. Well, after several months of fraud hunting, he's leaving. And what's his legacy, Sam, in terms of how many persons has he uncovered who've been indicted for fraud?
Zero.
Zero. Not a single person, and not a single documented case of significant, aside from prosecutions or indictments. He hasn't documented any new significant government fraud or even government waste that he has found. For the most part, these government programs run very efficiently, and it's not a big surprise you haven't covered fraud and waste. In fact, if you look at the budget bill, right, Sam?
Right.
They want to offset the big deficit, the big hole in the deficit that the tax cuts are going to blow, right?
Right.
And are they offsetting it with fraud and waste?
No.
No. They're offsetting it with real cuts into programs that really help people, like Medicaid. Independent analyses indicate about 9 million people will likely lose their Medicaid coverage if the House bill survives unchanged, and another 8 million will not be able to get coverage. So where's the fraud and the waste that painlessly could cover the deficit, Sam?
You tell me.
Yeah. It must be behind the tree somewhere.
Now, why do you think Elon did all this? Do you think he was just that naive and actually thought he could cut trillions without doing damage? Was he just dumb and didn't know how to do simple math? Or was it all planned and cynical?
I think it was all planned and cynical.
Really? But why would he do that?
Because he could. Why is Trump doing a lot of what he's doing?
Yeah, but Trump
because he can.
Yeah, but Trump has benefited immensely from his political career. Trump entering into this political arena he's lost, a lot of his net worth already. He's incredibly unpopular, and he sort of
actually his net worth is soaring since he's become president again by billions.
I mean Musk.
Oh, Musk. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm saying Trump has benefited.
I don't know enough about Musk to really say, except he's a little bit crazed. I mean, He loves these neo-Nazi, extreme right-wing parties. He loves the Afrikaners who supported apartheid in his birthplace of South Africa. I do think, he is so far an extremist that he wants to gut the government. But again, I don't know enough about Musk.
I think you're right
to really, analyze him.
I think it's a combination of him being crazed and naive at the same time.
I think that's right. I don't think he understood government. And there's a third thing: conflicts of interest.
Yeah, he had a lot of reason to go in and break up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and to curry favor with Trump because he wants these contracts.
True.
Trump says, he can't have a conflict of interest because he's so rich.
Yeah.
Money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you buy that, Sam, what do I have to sell you? A big bridge in my hometown of Brooklyn. If you believe that billionaires don't want to become even richer, then, as I said, I'll sell you this bridge, and maybe I'll become a billionaire.